I tell you what, guys, we are in bass heaven. Look at this place. Trees, lily pads, backwater, deep water, lots of structure. Oh my goodness me. We just need to find those bigger bites now. Yeah, guys, I didn't like that, man. It's too long, so I'm going to just cut it down a little bit here. The dynamics have changed them. The skirt's too long, and they like to see that paddle tail at the bottom. That's what they were after. Trying to keep it as similar as I had. I changed the color of this slightly just to see what would happen. Just nice and scraggy like that is what they want. And you can see that drop hook sits just there, right by that tail, and that's where they come and they grab it. There you go. That looks a little bit more how it needs to be. Popping on a little bit of secret sauce. Don't know if I should let this one out of the bag. This is good stuff. The reason why I'm using this bait is because it's a big fish bait, and I'm assuming we're going to get a lot of bites today, but smaller bites, and this just sort of gets through all of that. You know, the fish is going to be worthwhile. That's the one that's going to hit it and take it. The idea is in the early morning like this is predatory fish will come into these grass looking for smaller fish species to feed on, and I'm just getting in there and around there. And the nice thing about the spinnerbait is you can move it right up in that grass, and sometimes that's necessary to get the bites. So you can see I can get right up into the backs of places, and it's a very versatile bait which allows me to really focus on my target areas really good. And this has got a nice cadence, this one. Just made it up last night. I wanted to have a specific slower bait for this application. I'm definitely going to make that. Oh, there we go. That's what we're looking for right there, guys. Yep, that's better. That's a better fish. Oh yeah. Yes, please. This is the one. Much better fish here. Oh yeah, I don't want to lose this one because this is the first decent fish we've got. Very important. All right, yes. Oh, yes, please. All right, guys. This is the reason why I came to the lower end of the lake, because I know that there's going to be some better quality there. That's a nice fish. Look at that. That's a good chunky one. And you're going to find fish of that size pretty much at any lake. So that's the first good bite. Second or third fish in all, and yeah, it really took that bottom hook on the trailer there. But look at that, guys. Yes, please. That's exactly what we want. There we go, guys. So there it is, set up beautiful. So I've got a nice leader on there as well, nice and thin, so I don't want them to see that line at all. And onto a good open face spinnerbait. So let's do this. Let's pitch it in there, and hopefully we can get some catches. Starting to get those takes now. Interestingly enough, so I've had 2 follows just on this little section here on the spinnerbait. So hopefully it's turning. Water's starting to go out now. That was much more aggressive, so missed the dropper hook unfortunately. Would have been our first bass of the day. Just came up a short while ago and nailed it, but dropper's just out of position, I think. No, dropper looks good actually. Dropper looks pretty good. Oh, it's so tough when you get so close. So again, pitching is just a great way to cover water, and especially when you're moving like this. We got wind, as you can hear now. We're moving down as quickly as we can to try and beat the tide. So we've got all these elements going on. Look at it, it's not easy at all. And pitching is a great way for you to stay close to your targets, which is very important, and allows you to deliver that bait almost without a splash. So that really looks good, and a lot of the time the fish will be on it, literally on the drop, if you can get it right. You know, if you can get the bait to turn over nicely, you can get it right on the drop. See, nice little hangover like this, that's worth having a run across, definitely. So there's your pitch going across the log there, see, and you pitch it underneath. That's always a good spot. There may be fish there, so you just got to keep working that pitching motion. It's a very good motion to have in your repertoire of things to have in fishing. And one of the things you can do to practice it is just get a coffee mug at home and just sit there and underspin. It's all about feel. Everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to have a different way of doing it. And once you get a rhythm like I've obviously got today, then you really can get it into the right zones. Once you get the feel of it, you notice that my thumb, as you can see it there, is what guides it. So more or less, it's a break on, break off. And you just got to get the feel of that, you know. You release it, and then you got to just slowly tender it back to zero. So tactically, the idea is to go past the point and then fish backwards on it so it comes down with that current, and it looks like a little school of fish sort of going past all of that shrubbery over there, and that's why they come out. So they just have to be situated underneath there, and they see that come past at a nice steady cadence, and always fish it more than once. Just shows you the difference between the incoming and the outgoing tide. The bigger fish definitely set up in the outgoing. They always have on this river. It's hard to catch them because you only have such a limited time to do so, because you know, basically your tide's running out, especially when you have to make that over sandbars and things like that. You've really got to be on your game. This always amazes me how a little tailor like that can actually take that hook, drop hook, and get it in the mouth. Look at that, straight through the mouth. Insane. But it's food and it's around. And the bass want those. So I'll let it go. I've had 2 bites on the spinnerbait, so that's, well, 2 bumps, 2 nudges. So, you know, again, they're just biting short. And there's a fish right there. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, that's what I was looking for. And she's a beauty too. Oh yes, that's it. I knew that dropping tide was going to be a deal. Finally, that dropping tide has come through, and I've got a nice bass on here. I knew it was going to happen. I had 2 fish come up and whack this spinnerbait, and then I'm going to try to lift it. I'm going to break my rod. There she is. Yes, 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 yes. And that makes it all worthwhile, everybody, to get that first fish on the drop. And as I was saying, and I'm using the spinnerbait, I just started recording again on my chest cam, and talking about the fact that I was just going to thump the water and look for that dropping tide. Look at that beauty. Just retied everything and made sure that it's all in good shape, so that we can get those fish in. And although I'm not expecting the biggest fish today, I am expecting some good ones, and we've got to make sure that that all holds nice and tight so that we don't have any problems when we do hook up, if we hook up at all. So there you go. So there's a lovely spinnerbait to start us off there. You've seen me use this one before, making sure that it's nice long leader today, really good, and that's going to get us going. Now all that's left to do is just put a little spray on, just lubricate it up a little bit, and what that does is masks any scent, but also it gives it a nice lubrication through the water. So there's a lot of structures that we're going to be fishing up against here, and if it hits the rocks, it just slides off the rocks easier because it's kind of an oil based type of spray. But there it is, nice little spinnerbait with a little willow bait on it. That's hopefully going to do the damage today. Just having a look at the sonar setup today. I've got 3 sonars here. This is the front of the boat, this is the front end of the boat, this is the back of the boat. I've got side imaging on the back. I like to compare that with side imaging, and I've got the traditional sonar and also a detailed chirp sonar down here so I can see everything in detail. Same up front, side, and then I've just broken it into 2. One is zoomed in a little more, as you can see. One is zoomed back a little bit more so I can really find targets with a little bit of mapping so that I can mark spots. Well, there we go. The rain's coming in a little earlier than expected. It's not going to deter me for now. The bigger storms this afternoon are the ones that I'm watching, but always got good rain gear on board to make sure that I'm dry when it does rain. This is actually a good rain gear. This I like the motorcycle rain gear because it really does keep you dry. It doesn't have a hoodie on it, unfortunately, but it does keep me dry in the rain. So let's keep on at it. We'll keep on working it. Let's hope this rain doesn't become a factor, and hopefully it helps things along. Let's see. All right, lots of nooks and crannies we're working through here. Rain subsided for a bit. Still really looking for a bite though, and got a few sort of by a sand bank, which is something interesting. So amongst these rocks and that, I'm not finding bites. So it means possibly that I need to change up the terrain a little bit, and we may do that shortly. Definitely not in between these rocks and stuff like that. I don't see any follows. It seems to be very dead. in these caves and rocks and so on. So just keep on moving. You know, you come to little areas like this up ahead here and you can start seeing there's a lot of diversity there, and to me that just looks like a fish, so I've got to fish it. Nice little overhangs on the other point there, little points like this, so yeah, I mean, it's got to be fished until we can find that bite. I guess what's nice about all this rain and everything else is that there's no one else in the water. Anyone who went up earlier has come back and run away from the rain, so it's kind of left it nice and open, which is fantastic. And I'm not going to quit unless the real big storms come. I'm just going to keep on going until we can find these bites, because if I can run into a couple of bites, that would really change things here. So persistence is key for fishing, you know. Don't give up, keep going, keep working it, and you will get those rewards. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. There's our first fish of the day, and that's persistence for you. Looks like a good fish, this one. Yes, the rain's coming back. Here we go, let me lift it up. Wow, there we go. So in the rain, persistence is definitely paying off. And look at that beauty coming out of the Nepean River. Always remember to check everything after you've got a fish, and that one was really stretching the line. Now let's have a look at this. Nope, that's still good and strong, and I feel the line to make sure there's no nicks or cuts on it. Now it does feel, no, that's strong as. I'm not happy with it though, so I'm going to retie it anyways, and that just gives me safety. I just feel like there's a little bit of roughness on the end of that line, and that's what it looks like. And I leave a little extra piece there, and that's tight. I cannot break that, so that's fantastic. So there you go, you see the little clip there's come undone. So all these little things you have to check. Make sure your hook's on the right place, make sure it's ready to go. Now we can catch some fish. And one other thing is give it a little bit of a spray as well, because that spray, I do have a theory that the fish sometimes put out a stress signal in their scent. So I'll just spray that up, and that curbs that any scent that's on there right now, and she's ready to go back in the water. Sun, shade, moving debris, all the right recipes for a fish to take the line. Trying to keep the bait in good nick as well, so that when that good fish does take, we get it. And feather touching it in the water as well. There we go. There's another one. It's not very big though. Oh, this one looks like a little tailor. No, it's a little bat. Oh, it's a tailor. Tailor. There you go. So there's food for the bass. And look at that tailor going to take a spinnerbait. It's pretty unbelievable, isn't it? Anyways, let's get that off. In the mouth too. Look at that. And they can go back. What we need is the bass that wants to eat that. That's what we need. There we go, another fish. Oh, this is a tailor again. Look at these tailor, absolutely nailing that hook again in the mouth. Second one. Wow, it's pretty interesting. It's not what we're after. I find this quite interesting. We've seen this scenario before with all of this scum line on the top, and I actually think that this is a contributing factor to a lot of catches here on the Hawkesbury River. I think the fish stage underneath us and they're looking up, then they see the bait come along, and obviously it intrigues them. But have a look at the little section at the back there, and I'm just going to put the bait right in there and work it under that mat. See, I'm trying my best to do so. There we go, that's a better fish. There we go. That's a better fish, that one. Alright, there we go. This is a good one, this one. And it's one that we want. Alright, that's a better fish. There you go. That's what we're after, everybody. And beautiful take. And there it is.